Paris Hilton was the it girl of the 2000s. Whether you liked her or not, you definitely knew about her, as she was a constant fixture on tabloid headlines and celebrity news shows. While she received backlash for being a socialite who was famous for being famous, she did try to show that she at least had some talent on her 2006 album, Paris. Paris had wanted a musical career for years, recording demos back in 2003 and opening her own record label, Eris Records, in 2004. She had also enlisted help from producers such as Rob Cavallo, Lil Jon, and Scott Storch while creating her album. Paris was serious about this, y'all. She was getting the biggest names in the industry for her musical debut. The album was preceded by two singles, Stars Are Blind and Turn It Up. While Turn It Up is a fun but somewhat generic party song, Stars Are Blind is genuinely one of the best pop songs of the 2000s. A breezy reggae-infused track, it's one of those songs you could throw on a summer playlist and anyone would enjoy. It's catchy, well-produced, and Paris gives a good performance on it. I don't think anyone ever expected Paris to be a good singer, so she doesn't really try. Instead, she takes a talk-singing approach that allows her flirty, love-struck personality to come through. You really don't need powerful vocals to sell this kind of song. And to her credit, I think Paris knows she doesn't have a strong voice, and she doesn't try to stretch it beyond her capabilities. This extends to the rest of the album as well. Paris was never here to impress us with her vocals. She was here to make a fun party record, which is exactly what she delivered. Paris is a pop album with hip-hop, R&B, rock, and dance influences. It's an amalgamation of pretty much everything that was big during this era of music, truly a time capsule of the mid-2000s. I think the three singles that were released represent the types of songs on the album very well. Turn It Up is a clubby hip-hop inspired track, similar to Fightin' Over Me. Stars Are Blind is a more chill, sensual track, similar to Heartbeat and Do You Think I'm Sexy? And Nothing in This World is an upbeat pop rock track, similar to Screwed and Jealousy. Paris is a way better album than it needed to be. It's no masterpiece, and definitely a product of its time, but she actually sells the pop star fantasy really well. It helps that she had great producers, such as J.R. Rodham, Cara Diaguardi, and Scott Storch, all over the record. While each of them have certainly made better songs, their productions do bring a high-quality touch to every track, and the result is a short, unserious party album. It ain't gonna change the world, but it's still a fun one to go back to. Even critics at the time weren't as harsh on it as you would think they would have been, getting mixed to lightly positive reviews. For a time when female celebrities were under especially heavy and unfair scrutiny, it's surprising this album wasn't absolutely torn apart. I think this is because Paris and everyone involved in the album were smart with their approach. They weren't trying to do anything too ambitious. They simply played up Paris's public persona and put it to music. If anything, the worst thing you could call this album is generic and trend chasing, but I personally don't hold that against it. Paris wanted to live her pop star fantasy when she knew all eyes were on her, and that's exactly what she did. Although I'll say it again, Stars Are Blind is actually one of the best pop songs of the 2000s. That one has something special in it. Paris was a moderate success, peaking at number 6 on the Billboard 200 with 77,000 units sold in its first week. Despite having a solid first outing, Paris wouldn't return to music for another 7 years, with her single Good Time featuring Lil Wayne in 2013. A clubby EDM song, Good Time is, once again, a product of its time, but still a pretty solid dance track. Her next single, Come Alive, was released in 2014. It was more of an ethereal electronica sounding track, with Paris delivering an airy, soft vocal performance. I was actually obsessed with Come Alive when it first came out. It's probably my second favorite song by her. It's pretty, well produced, and a nice one to either chill out or dance to. Her next single, High Off My Love, featuring Birdman, was released in 2015. It was once again an EDM song, only this time with more of a trap influence. These three singles were apparently meant for a second album that was eventually scrapped, which is sad because they're all pretty good, and if the whole record kept up their level of quality, it could have been a great dance album. Paris was obviously influenced by electronic music from this time, as she had started DJing for parties and music festivals in 2012. It would have been cool to see her further incorporate EDM, rave, and electronica into a cohesive project since she was so engrossed in that world, but I guess we'll never hear the original PH2. Since the mid-2010s, Paris has released a couple more singles, including 2017's Summer Rain featuring Pitbull. It's a proven fact that if Pitbull's on the song, it's gonna be fire, and Summer Rain is a super fun, upbeat, club-ready techno track. Her next single was 2018's I Need You, which was a love letter to her then fiancé, Chris Cycla. Yeah, it's aged about as well as Ariana Grande's song Pete Davidson, also from 2018. This song was more of a doo-wop 50s throwback song. She was really coming for Meghan Trainor's bag with this one. I don't like I Need You, but if she enjoyed doing it, that's what matters. It's cute, just not my thing. Now what was my thing was her next song, 2019's Best Friend's Ass, with Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike. It's kind of a joke song, but it goes off, and she sounds like she's having a really fun time on it. It reminds me of one of those stupid, annoying songs you'd find on YouTube back in the late 2000s, where it's obviously meant to be abrasive, and that's the point. Paris has since been featured on a couple more dance tracks, but there still hasn't been a new album. She has teased a second record, and was apparently beginning to make one in 2019, but there wasn't much word on that until a March 2023 interview with Rolling Stone, where she again revealed little information. With Paris going through sort of a resurgence in recent years, I think it'd be a great time for a full return to music. Paris has proven herself to be more than competent in the dance music arena, and with that genre being popular right now, she could see some legit success. Paris's music career is definitely a funny one to me. As much as I know it's the definition of a bot career, I always do look forward to seeing new music from her. She doesn't try to be anything she's not. She plays up her glamorous celebrity persona and has fun with it. As far as singers who aren't really singers go, Paris is a good example of how it should be done. Now if only her and Heidi Montag would do a collab.